Welcome back everybody to Midweek Mentoring, the series on my channel where we improve your entrepreneurial life one video at a time by providing you with powerful data sets on topics such as fitness, mindset, biohacking and more. I'm no expert, I'm no scientist, I'm just sharing the knowledge that has helped me that I've picked up along the way. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what the elites and the government do to control us and how they use different tactics to make sure we stay in order and keep them happy. Some of these things may seem normal to you, but it's really all about maximum control. As I always say, please do take this with a pinch of salt because this is my own opinion, so do your own research about these conspiracies. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So I briefly just touched on control, and what I mean control the people that reside in the country that the government are trying to control. Control is about making sure everyone stays in line with what you want them to do, and if they fall out of line, they're punished for it, which is why we have systems like prisons and fines, etc. Some people call this control inhumane, but to be honest, it's completely normalized to most of us around here, so no one really bats an eyelid, which is a shame. As long as you stay within their system, you listen to everything they tell you to do, then they're happy, and you think you're happy, but some people actually realize what's going on and what's the bigger picture in all of this. So without further ado, let's kind of delve into some of the things that people do and kind of the systems they use to try and trick us, and we'll explain how this affects us and how you can avoid it. So firstly, I'm going to open your mind up to some things which might get you thinking a bit more, and it's to do with some of the big names in the game, people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. So let's take Elon Musk for example. What does he own? He owns Starlink, which controls the satellites in the atmosphere. He controls Twitter now, well known as X now, which is our social media platform that millions and millions of people use. He also controls the cars, Tesla cars of course, which are all electric. And if we actually link these things together, the satellites control the social media, which contains the data of people and controls what we see, but he also controls the cars, the vehicles that people drive around in. The more cars he sells, the more people he has driving in the Teslas. Teslas, electric, the technology is probably advanced, they can be controlled by phones or from anywhere, or who knows what powers Tesla can do. They could probably stop a car whenever they want to, or make a car go wherever they want, but we don't know about it. So he's got mass control of all these different sectors, and the more areas he covers, the more he controls people. And it's actually crazy when you think about how much one individual controls. He's almost like a mega super villain in a movie, but people don't realize it. They just think, wow, he's such a clever, powerful man, really just innovating the space for the future. But if you think about it on a different kind of level, you realize that he's got all these aspects controlling all aspects of our life: transportation, social media, communication, everything. And maybe another example we can use is Jeff Bezos. He owns Ring Doorbell, if you didn't know that already. Well, Amazon own it. Ring Doorbell, literally, how many people do you know who have Ring doorbells on their door? Literally everyone has a Ring doorbell. Fine, it's just a doorbell, but could this not be CCTV into our world? I mean, if every house has CCTV on their doorstep, then we can see what's going on in people's lives, collect more data, see everything in the world going on. This is just more data for the elites, and then more they can control you, turn off your camera, turn it on. Listen, these are all conspiracies, so to speak, but what I wanted to do was kind of use this exercise to open your mind up a bit more and expand it to get you thinking about what other stuff could be going on in society. Right, so I'm glad we've covered that. Let's actually get on to the tactics they use, and we're going to start at the very beginning. Education. We're all told to go to school from the age of around 4 till about 18, where we're fed what the government want us to learn. And obviously this is all specific. They pick the topics, they pick the syllabuses, and we get fed all that. And we're also conditioned to go to school Monday to Friday. Isn't that convenient how we also have to work Monday to Friday? We're fed what they want us to know and what they want us to learn, so we can then use it and go into our jobs, which is the next thing. We get trapped in what we call the rat race, going to the 9 to 5, same job every single day for the rest of our lives, earning a okay income whilst our boss earns way more than we do. And then the money that we earn in that job, we have to give 40-50% of it back to the government, which is insane. The money that we earn doing the job that you told us to get, because otherwise we couldn't survive with the skills that we learn in your education place, which is stuff that you fed us. Think about it, that's just a crazy mindfuck. And it doesn't end there. Fine, you've got a job, but now you need a place to live. So what do? You get a house. But most people can't buy a house in cash outright. They have to get a mortgage. And what does a mortgage do? Well, we're sold to it as, wow, you're entering the property ladder. You just bought your very own home, which you own. It's a really good asset. It's going to go up in value. And by the end of it, you can sell it. But how long do these mortgages last? 30, 40, 50 years? And in that capital growth period, fine, I definitely will say that you would have increased the value of the property over time. You see that year on year throughout history, but at the end of it, you've put a load of money into the property, and in those 30, 40, 50 years, what? You've made 200, 300 grand, which is what? 10 years salary, but we're tricked into buying it because we're sold this dream that, wow, we own it, when really they just want the banks to keep getting money over and over again. And here's the other secret. You don't really ever own the property. Like, they tell you own it, but in reality, if you default on the mortgage, guess where it goes? It's back to banks because it's property of the banks and you've put your money against the house. It's kind of a trick they use to keep us putting our money into the same place, into the government, into the banks. It's a trick, but most people don't think of it like that. They think they're buying something wonderful. And don't get me wrong, it is amazing to own your own property. But if you're putting like almost all of your money into paying off your mortgage, then is that really living? You can buy a house in cash. Congratulations, that is cool. But then you want to buy second, third, fourth, then you want to get into property. You don't want to be restricted into the place you live being actually not really an asset and what we've typically been told. It doesn't stop there. Think about your finances. If you put £1 million or dollars into the bank and you try to go to the bank to get it all out, guess what? They're not going to have your money. They're going to call you up and they're going to say, hey, sorry, we need 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get your money out of the bank because they don't have the money there. But that's your money and you've given them your money and you've also got the number on the screen, right? You've got the money. But that is actually just a number on a screen. You've got that money, but what they do with the money is what you don't know about. Typically, they'll take your money that you've given them and use it to give people loans, which then they earn interest on. So the banks use your money to make more money for themselves. And I bet that's something you didn't realize. So you never really have that money, but when you want it out, they say, hey, sorry, we can't get that quite right now. So is that freedom? Is that financial freedom? Does that not make it more of a reason to go into cryptocurrency where your money is immediate and you actually physically have it, as opposed to having to wait to get your own money out of the bank, which they're using to benefit themselves anyway? Is it all starting to make sense? And what a lot of governments have tried to do, especially the big Europeans, the United States, China, I think are already doing it. I think India are already doing it. But they want this central banking digital currency, or CBDCs is what they call it. Now this is where the government would have their own currency, but it'd be digital as we're all going digital. It just makes sense that way instead of having to print loads of paper notes. Now what they're doing hasn't really worked. In the West at least anyway. They really wanted CBDCs to work, but with the rise of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and all the other coins, it didn't prove popular and they feel like they could never ever really implemented it, and there was so much grief against it. No one wants it. Of course, why would you want it? It's just ultimate control, because then all your currency is digital and it's even more of a number on your screen. It's a number on your screen which is also made up by the government. Again, think about all these brain fucks that are happening in your head right now. So, with the failure of CBDCs, why do you think places like America are now warming up to crypto? They've realized the CBDCs won't work. So now they're trying to back crypto and be pro-crypto. America right now, Donald Trump says we're going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve, which means the US will store cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin in this case, as a form of digital assets, which a strategic reserve is if they ever need strategic money, then they can go and get it out, because it holds a store of value, which they're now accepting, which is fine. But then people like Vladimir Putin have said, you can't stop Bitcoin. China obviously want to get into Bitcoin. Loads of nations are trying to get into cryptocurrency because they've realized you can't control the money through the CBDCs. Yes, Bitcoin has inherent value, as do some of the other cryptos, along with their other use cases. They've kind of accepted that now. So now everyone's in a race to try and buy crypto because everyone wants maximum control. As you may not know, Bitcoin actually has a limited supply of 21 million coins, can ever be issued ever. Not like gold where you can always find more or you can always print more money. No, it has a finite supply, meaning the value is only ever going to go up as demand goes up and the supply stays consistent, meaning there's a squeeze. No more can be made, but more people want it, which, guess what, drives the price up. That's basic economics. I'm sure you already know that. This is not financial advice. This may not necessarily happen. I'm just saying what is most likely going to happen. It's a hypothetical. But anyway, so they've accepted cryptocurrencies. Now everyone's in a race to get it because they realize this may actually become an actual form of currency in the next 10, 15 years. So max control is what it's all about. Controlling your finances and taking advantage of you. Look, I know this is quite a vast spread video, but if it's helped you, please let me know in the comments. I know I said quite a lot, but it's really just to try and open your mind to some things that are probably going on around us, and some of them are pretty plausible. So yeah, if I've helped you, please let me know in the comments. Also, drop a like, subscribe. We are aiming for 500 subscribers by the year. We're almost at 200 nearly. So let's keep pushing for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.